Oj, oj, oj. Jakiś ty jest ładnie groźny. Bum. Bum. No. Dobra, jeden poszedł. Gdzie drugi? Gdzie drugi? O. Pa. Oj. Andrioszka, ratuj. Serwus Ferajna, gruby gracz z tej strony. Witam na kolejnym materiale na moim kanale. Tym razem Starfield po powrocie. Gramy dalej. Ostatnio czyściliśmy kopalnię na Marsie, aby odbić profesorka, który tam się okazało, że trochę głębiej był. Także połączyliśmy dobre z lepszym, bez wydawania pieniędzy. Z tego co pamiętam, udało nam się go odbić. Tak, i teraz musimy się udać spotkaj się z Adrian. Dobra, do Nowej Galaktyki. Okej, ale to chyba będę mógł... Nie damy rady, tak? Księżyc, Ziemia, Sol, Alfa Centauri, dobra. Tyk. Alfa Centauri. Czyli najbliższa nam galaktyka, naszej galaktyce. Tak, a propos. Dobra, loża. Pyk, nie tu. Tu. X. No i... No. Ostatnio wróciłem też do Lies of P. Zapraszam na nowe odcinki. A już za parę dni premiera Spider-Man 2.
They'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place.
Okej.
I am a clone.
Jestem
Of a man
klonem.
named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated in Old Earth.
Biada
Latin,
pokonanym.
a title
Ładne.
he
Vea
earned.
Victis.
The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Okej.
I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a
O,
day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it.
jesteś klonem mężczyzny? Jak to możliwe?
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
Okej. Dobra, ten Vea Victis musi być wspaniałym dowódcą, skoro...
He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both
Czyli
sides.
zbrodniarz wojenny po
Three
prostu.
Star Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Okej. Dobra. O, no
He had
ciekawe.
his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne.
Bitwa o
A
Cheyenne.
battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the colony war to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him.
Strasznie się dziwnie te napisy dzisiaj otwierają. Dobra.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already.
Okej.
Holding a grudge against where a person comes from that is both ignorant and cruel.
Just the way things
Ignorance.
are sometimes. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I
Nie.
got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast.
Mhm.
Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terromorph project was, well, a failure. There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized. Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions.
Dobra, a jeszcze co z tymi oczami?
That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included.
O,
Where the name Red Devil
fajnie
came from in the
wytłumaczone,
first
no.
place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to
Taki
do a stint in the
niepisany
mine
rytuał.
before they could join up.
Dobra,
Devils
chcesz
were
być
always
żołnierzem?
talked about in such
Bądź najpierw
revered
górnikiem.
tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up, and the eyes were my parting gift.
Okej.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Okej, idę.
Sounds like our...
Dzień dobry.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
To co, ja już jestem faktycznie tym kapitanem? Taki trochę wałek. Ledwo się dostałem, a już jestem kapitanem. No, żeby to tak było w rzeczywistości. Dobra, chyba będzie silnie przegadany odcinek.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced
Nie ma
in
za co.
securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's terromorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories.
Okej.
UC, Freestar Collective, and House Va'ruun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you.
Mhm.
Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
Potrzebujemy danych archiwalnych, aby znaleźć sposób na powstrzymanie możliwej plagi. Jestem tu tylko w celu porozmawiania o tym, co się stało. To Hadrian ma wielkie plany. Przypomni mi pani, co jest przechowane w tych archiwach. Wciąż staramy się
That's quite the leap,
Mhm.
Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terromorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic.
No ale to nie był
And at
zwykły
worst,
atak.
a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium.
O,
I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we?
okej.
And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data?
Mhm.
I don't think it's enough.
Ale
Perhaps
ja
you
tak
could help,
sądzę.
Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terromorph seem at all alarming to you?
Okej.
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
Na to
So it would
wygląda.
seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the
Tak.
archives?
Myślę, że
You
to.
are correct, but it must be considered that with the data in hand, someone else could succeed where that program failed.
Mhm.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement.
Jednym tekst i gość się od razu zmienia, tak? Na naszą
You
korzyść.
and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing
Yeah.
to make the request to...
Oj, coś tu się od Janie Pawliło.
What was that?
Attention.
O kurde.
An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
Weźmiemy tą. Aha, do niej nie mamy amunicji, zajebiście.
Terromorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Oh no.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
No,
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
jest
Admiral
mem.
Rogan, the local barracks can provide support.
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got.
Okej.
You two, you can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
Tak jest.
One down!
Okej. Aha, czyli to jest jakaś pewnie nieśmiercionośna broń. Sądząc po tym, co jest? Co mam z nimi zrobić? Obywatel. Dobra, dziwnie to działa. Okej, a te... Oj! To się chyba nazywa miłość. Dobra, tu jeszcze coś mi wskazuje, dobra. Obezwładnij, dobra, czyli to jest karabinek do obezwładniania. Dobra. Elo, elo.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the terromorphs' influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing.
Oszaleli. Znaliśmy ich. Fajne, taki motyw zarazy ogólnogalaktycznej.
Some terromorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet.
Są jak marionetki.
You break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Okej.
I honestly was just wondering the same thing.
To cię
No,
zaszczelę.
you don't need to worry about me. I've had a terromorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible.
Okej.
So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there.
Dobra.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Zrobię. A ma kołnierzyk z tego. Z Cyberpunka. Gdzie to? O, jest terromorf. Czy ja go mam obezwładnić, czy mogę go zaszczelić, co? Oj, oj, oj. Nie daj się. Dobra. No to mamy to zabić, czy obezwładnić? Oj, oj, dobra. Nie będziemy się z tobą szczypać, panie teraz. Dobra, panie terromorf. Oj, oj, oj. Jak to z żyćkiem? Jeszcze żyje, dobra. Umarł? Umarł. Yeah! Dobra, bierzemy z niego co się da. Pięknie. O, nawet żyćko mi się odnowiło. Sierżant.
We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more women. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Dobra. Wyeliminuj terromorfy. Wyeliminuj terromorfy. Porozmawiaj z drużyną ogniową. Dobra. No to zobaczymy, co mają do powiedzenia chłopcy. Wow, ale...
You two have any experience with terromorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
Oj.
We're not afraid, but we'll stay here and hold the line if that's what you want. You're the experts.
Bierzemy ich. Będzie wesoło. Coś czuję.
We're on you.
Let's go! Dobra. Dobra. Weźmiemy najpierw tego skurwinoksa. Elo, elo! Idziemy na pełnej... O, 6-poziomowy, dobra. Dobra, oj. Oj, oj, oj. O kurde, nie mam ammo do tego. A mam do pistoletu. No nie dam cię, spokojnie. No, może byś się tak... Oj, ła. Oj, 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 oj. Kryty, kryty, kryty. Jak nigdy nie wygram, jak właśnie wygrywam. Durniu. A ja mam zbyt duże obciążenie? Fuck. Gdzieś ty jest, ała. Dobra, ała. Strzelba. Bam. Gdzie jesteś? Czemu akurat mnie bijesz? Dobra, co ja ci zrobiłem? Na pewno. Elo, elo! Naprzód! 60 metrów. Trzeba by go tutaj ściągnąć, żeby mu zrobić krzywdę. Gdzieś ty jest. O, też jesteś tu. Bum! Już? Nie no, jeszcze. Oj, oj, oj. Jakiś ty jest ładnie groźny. Bum. Bum. No. Ja wiem, jesteś straszny. 2. Dublet. Wiem, że nigdy nie wygrałem. Jest. Jednak się opłacało ich wziąć. Nice work, Captain. Dobra, i to co zebrałem, to mnie obciążyło w cholerę. Dobra. Dzięki za pomoc, chłopaki. Oj. Świat zesłał właściwych ludzi we właściwe miejsce. Wszechświat. To wy utrzymaliście obronę. Nie czuję tego. No.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the president. Let her know the terromorphs have been dealt with.
No i
Take care of
dobrze.
yourself, Sergeant.
Dbaj o siebie, sierżancie. Tup, tup, tup. Tup, tup, tup.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much...
Prezydentka.
Captain? Hadrian?
Adrian.
It would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the terromorphs, well, consider them validated.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Lepiej późno niż wcale.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner.
Żałuj.
Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the terromorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these
Dzięki.
attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately. To
O
your former
kurde.
rank of major. As soon as
Stopień
we have the
majora.
data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd be honored.
I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Va'ruun to play ball.
Okej.
Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy
Huh.
are facing right now. The cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
Okej.
The cabinet wants progress and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation
No to jest
than
fakt.
any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of terromorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The cabinet was
Chcą
unanimous.
ciebie.
They want you.
They want you.
We do.
Owszem.
In exchange, we're willing to fast track your citizenship upon collection of
O.
the data. So, will you help us?
Yes.
It has its perks. Only citizens can purchase property in the city. We also pay reduced prices on most goods and
Dobry
services
deal.
across the UC.
Mogę sobie
There's
chałupę
also a
kupić?
credit disbursement when you first join. Help get you on your feet. But above all, you'd become a dedicated part of the greatest faction in the galaxy. If you're willing to help us, we can open that door.
No dobra, może pani na
I'm
mnie
glad to hear it.
liczyć.
Now, we of course won't be sending you in without the proper support.
Okej.
Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall.
Okej.
And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks.
Dzięki.
You're dismissed.
Ja.
That spaceport. That includes you.
Dobra.
These orders.
Właśnie. Oś ty brzydka. I masz włosy jak hełm.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require.
Już wolę moją Andrioszkę.
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second in command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude.
Okej.
I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet.
Mhm.
Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the terromorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And
Dobra.
that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Nie wiem.
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Va'ruun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Va'ruun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But
Okej.
that's a lot easier said than done.
Hmm. Co możesz mi powiedzieć o tych kodach? Czy możemy je podrobić?
Each is a strip of several million random numbers generated on the fly based on biometric keys kept by each of the ambassadors on their person at all times.
Aha.
They're impossible to create without those keys, and those keys stay with the ambassadors, meaning we're accessing nothing if we can't get them on our side.
Okej. No to co? Co tam wybierzemy? Można by pomyśleć, że po ataku na port. Dobra.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't or can't work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here.
Groźby.
That doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliff of Freestar or Ambassador Balmore of House Va'ruun?
Radcliff, no.
The good Ambassador Radcliff. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
Wcale jej się nie dziwię.
Sounds as though I will enjoy this.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Dobra.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
No.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
Oj,
But
oj, oj.
getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
Okej.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now,
Dobra.
we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that.
Okej.
But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Dobra.
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over. But I can't make any promises.
Dobra. A tu o tym
Name's
pracowniku?
Cameron Long. He's younger than Radcliff, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts.
Dobra.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
Okej.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Dobra. O, kredyty. No.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge.
Aha.
When the rest of House Va'ruun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore
Został
stayed here.
tutaj.
He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again.
Okej.
Though claiming to know how a member of House Va'ruun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
No.
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Va'ruun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Va'ruun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
Dobra. Aż mi się ziewnęło. Za dużo gadania. Dobra.
Yes, just like us. How magnanimous of you.
Of course. But there is another wrinkle.
Jaki?
We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare. But it's been several years now since he last poked
O,
his head
super.
out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
Dobra.
The Va'ruun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy.
Czyli węże.
It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador.
Flora, no właśnie, nie fauna.
Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Okej, wytropię go.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access.
Okej.
Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy.
Dobra, najpierw ta
interior.
ambasada.
Once you're inside, though,
Może będzie
finding the
krótsza.
ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask.
Okej.
I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliff. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind.
Aha, no dobra.
Smart out there, Captain.
Działaj mądrze.
Have the time.
I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Może by coś ukraść.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Tak,
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment?
tak.
What are you? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terromorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all.
No tak.
I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
Dobra, może to. Potrzebujemy dostępu do archiwów.
I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no.
Dlaczego?
That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours and go?
Nie.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One.
One.
Convince me.
Yes.
Understood. I'm listening.
Słucham. Dobra. O kurde, ale mam tam dużo tych. Okej.
You know that for sure. That is interesting.
Dobra. Ile tam mamy? 2, 4, 5. Dobra, na ryzyko. 1.
I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility.
Okej. No dobra.
It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly. Well, Captain, you make some good points.
Dziękuję.
But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions.
Jakich?
Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terromorphs. The monitors will make sure.
No okej. Jak ich nie
Go
zabiję.
in once. You get everything you need on your trip, and never again.
No dobra.
All research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight.
Mhm.
Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement?
No tak. Chyba nie mamy. Zgoda.
Excellent.
Excellent. Follow me. Ale ruszaj się, stara babo. Go.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there.
And there. No.
It's not supposed to be a long process. It is for emergencies, after all. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights.
Okej.
Two unlikely allies, I guess.
Okej. I tu. Dobra, może tu będzie coś ciekawszego. Okej, ambasada wygląda na opuszczoną. No tak. Dobra, lecimy. Dobra.
This is certainly different than anything else in New Atlantis.
Okej. Jak sobie to wezmę? Dobra. Tu nie będzie kradzieży. Okej. Zaraz będziemy gadać. O. To sobie weźmiemy. To sobie weźmiemy. A tu w skrzynce. Wytrych i toksyna. Dobra. Tego nie chcę. Dobra. Dobra, interkom. Już. Aktywuj, no. Dobra. O. Pokaż. Okej, aha, wytrych muszę tu użyć. No dobra, ten tu, ten tu, ten tu i ten tu. O. Usuń inhibitory bojowe. Potwierdź. Dobra. Ciekawe. Andrioszka, odsuń się. Cholera, dobra. kurde.
Decades unsupervised, and it seems this tree has decided it now owns this place.
Oj, oj, oj. Co to?
Winner takes all those dictates, is it not?
Ależ gdzie? O kurde. Dobra. Oj! No przecież wyłączyłem te wieżyczki, tak jak mi się wydawało. Fuck. Dobra. Dobra, naboje. Cholera, jasna. Drzwi, no. O kurde. Gdzie? Do kogo strzelamy? Ej. O. Puk. Nad głową ci. Dobra. Tu coś jest, zaraz. No otwórz, a tu jest zaawansowany. Dobra. Dobra, ten tu. O, jednak nie. No, okej. No i teraz zobaczymy. O kurde. Dobra. Oj. Fuck. No idę. Dobra. Tu? Nie tu. Dobra, to idziemy za... Oj. Szybciej! Dobra. Aha, następny interkom, dobra. Już włączam, no. No włączyłem, no. Do którego interkomu? Co tu się dzieje? Ej. Dobra. A ty do czego celujesz? Nie wiem. Dobra, idziemy za... Okej. Naboje.
Take what you must. The rest for the scavengers.
Dobra. Oj. Wieża. Dobra. O! Kurde. Oj, 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 oj. Ładuj! Pam. Pam. Żebyś się tak... Oj, oj, oj. Dobra, jeden poszedł. Gdzie drugi? Gdzie drugi? O! A. Oj. Andrioszka, ratuj! Gdzie tu jeszcze? Co to do mnie strzela? Wieżyczka gdzieś tu jest. Elo. Dobra, uff. Dobra, gdzie ten interkom? Tu. Naboje. No dobra, wchodzimy. Jejku, jeszcze to, dobra. Dobra, ten tu. Ten tu, ten tu. Ten tu. I ten tu. Jak ja tego wcześniej nie znalazłem? Co? Nie rozumiem. Dobra. Czysto. A jest interkom, dobra. Pyk. Dobra. Gdzie ta piwnica? Tu. Aha, ten mnie lubi. Nie kumam. Tego ten mnie lubi, a tamci mnie nie lubili? Tu. Dobra. Dobra. Dobra, rozumiem, że tu się będziemy strzelać z nimi. Dobra. Chodzimy. Oj. Oj. Ała. Dobra. O, ci są wyżej poziomowi już. Dobra, ładuj, ładuj, ładuj. Pyk. Pyk. No. No. Kurde, no.
Profit is never necessarily the aim, but
Dobra. I co, tylko dwa były? Miała być jakaś epicka walka. O, ktoś tu stoi. No bez jaj.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come,
Spoko.
let us discuss.
No. No.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly?
Tak.
Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. Hence why I was guiding you through the intercoms to restore the environmental controls. And release me. It is the sap of the tree that gives it its... well, perhaps not a topic for this exact moment. But I must know of the rest of the city. Does it still stand?
Stoi.
Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door?
No, dokładnie.
And the broadcast spoke of terromorphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code.
Kod do archiwów.
So the UC requires information.
Dokładnie.
On terromorphs, presumably.
Tak.
Do I see this all clearly?
Bardzo dobrze.
The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Va'ruun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Va'ruun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
Okej.
You have mine as well, for what that is worth.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
Follow me. Dobra.
Let's hope it still works.
Okej.
Let it be used for good.
Na pewno. Dobra.
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliff?
Tak.
And Balmore?
Tak.
We're all in agreement.
Tak.
So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain.
Dzięki.
And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow
Dobra.
them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast.
Okej.
Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Okej. Okej. Komandosy. Idę tędy.
Captain, we've been expecting you.
Cieszę się.
Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles.
Dobra.
Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units.
Okej.
Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
Tak chcę rozpocząć. Dobra. Tu. Pyk. Pyk. I pyk. Dobra.
You may proceed, Captain.
Drzwi. Okej, wierzyć dane. Kurde, długa ta misja. Bardzo długa. I wypad. Okej. Nie będziemy ich... Ała. Nie będziemy ich drażnić, nie będziemy pajacować. Dobra.
There you are. Captain, Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Dziękuję.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Time for us to start getting some real answers and figure out if we've been asking the right questions.
Na pewno.
So whenever you're ready.
Ta.
You're carrying the most comprehensive collection of information on terromorphs in the known universe. If we can't pry an answer out of there, it likely doesn't exist. Certainly doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but we're not going to know until Percival and I dig in, so whenever you're ready. Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put
Czy
some
to się nie
things right.
skończy tak, że...
So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Okej.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Dobrze, idę. No kurde, ruszać się. Stare krowy.
You have a nice day now.
Dziękuję. I ekran wczytywania. Dawno go nie było. O kurde, no ładnie.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? It doesn't. We don't really care where else you might have been or might become a citizen. Once you earn your place in the United Colonies, it's yours.
Dziękuję. Do dzieła.
Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version.
Okay.
Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
Tak.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen.
Dziękuję.
Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the terromorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They ask for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence.
Oczywiście.
You can tell no one.
Tak.
Can you agree to these terms? I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. Do I have it? Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Okej. O, jeszcze 7 koła. Dobrze. 12 poziom.
Seems like the Crimson Fleet is everywhere these days, spreading like a virus through the settled systems. They like to set up shop in old facilities, places abandoned in the colony war. That way, they can strike anywhere.
Dobra, widzowie. Ja już jestem zmęczony, także dziękuję za dzisiejszy film. Cieszę się, że dotrwaliście do tego momentu. Dość mocno przegadany, no ale trudno. Jeżeli dotrwałeś do tego momentu, zostaw komentarz. No nie, mówię, zmęczony jestem. Jeżeli dotrwałeś do tego momentu, zostaw komentarz o treści, ale nudy. Zostaw suba, jeżeli chcesz, kliknij w dzwoneczek, daj łapkę w górę, łapkę w dół, łapkę w bok, łapkę w prawo, łapkę w lewo, co chcesz tak naprawdę. No i tyle. Do zobaczenia w następnym odcinku. Przypominam, że już niedługo startujemy z serią o Spider-Man 2. Serią z Spider-Man 2. Ja powoli szykuję materiał vlogowy, zobaczycie jaki. Także dziękuję, do widzenia, do usłyszenia. Cześć.